I swear I can hear my cat meowing and trying to get in the door because she always needs to come in and be really loud when I'm talking to the computer. Not when I'm talking to other people, but specifically when I'm talking to myself on the computer. She can hear the change in voice, I guess. Anyway, happy Pride, everybody. I know it's like 2 weeks in. I hope all my fluffy friends are being super prideful. I know that I have been, and I know that I'm also ready for Gay Wrath Month. But before then, I want to get back to vlogging a bit. I still want to increase my consistency, and I want to share the things I'm working on, because despite last week being not nearly as productive as I'd have hoped it would be, it turns out this week I've been super productive, so yay, ADHD brain. By the way, I got my meds refilled finally. I think there might be a correlation there. I don't know. Anyway, I have a few things I wanted to go over. So, let's see, I want to talk about some of the things I've been working on. First, I want to talk about some of the apps that I've been working on. I had this idea for a while to make a landing page for my browser, like a dashboard that will show me things that, notifications that I, would go to websites to check for, because I don't have those notifications on my phone. I don't really want to be, pinged every time I get an email, and I don't need to know when it comes in immediately. But I made a little dashboard that will do things like, once a minute, fetch my count of unread emails in my inbox, and once every 5 or 10 minutes, do the same for Mastodon notifications and Blue Sky notifications. I do it low enough amount of time that, I'm not like constantly hitting those servers, and I also have it set so that you can choose the amount of time that you want to be. But anyway, so I have a variety of services that I've already put in. I'm putting it up on the screen. You should be, seeing it now. I'm trying to make it something that anyone can use and that you can customize and, make fit your needs. So I'm still doing a little cleanup, and I'm still trying to test some services that I personally don't have active accounts on, but that other people have requested, so that I can, make sure that my connection to their APIs is working and all that. And I'm also going to write some documentation, because not every service makes it easy, to figure out how to connect to them. Some of them required a little extra work, like Google's things, looking at you. But anyway, I'm really excited about it, just because it's something that scratches an itch of my own. It solves a problem that I've had, and I know that there are other people who would like it as well. And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to make cool things that I can give away and share with other people. Speaking of development, I finally put a lot more work into Paw Pals. I've been talking about that for a while. I came up with the idea several years ago, and I'm finally really moving forward with the code base for it. I like where it's at right now. It has a lot of features. I've like I said, I've briefly discussed it, so I'm not going to go over it too much here, mainly because I think next week I'm going to do a video that is more about that specifically. Hopefully to coincide with launching of a landing page so people can sign up for interest. Quite honestly, the reason I'm not showing it off now is because I've been so focused on back-end things, making sure accounts work, making sure that you can modify profiles, do filtering searches, things like that, that I have not made it look pretty. I'm using Laravel as my framework to code it in, and while it does have some nice styles built in, it looks pretty plain and boring, and also I haven't gone through and made sure things actually look good. So I want it to look pretty when I show you. I'm working on it. But like I said, hopefully next week I'll have a video to share there. In the meantime, let's talk about what else I've been working on. I am not going to take credit for the idea of the design. There is a creator named Poocat Dino Crafts, and I hope I'm saying that properly, that makes a lot of cute wooden charms, keychains, pins, things like that, of 2 or 3 different animals pressed together against each other, kind of like a puzzle. And I really like that. I want it to make my own. And so I want it to do not necessarily their actual personas, but their persona species. So I tried combining a jackalope, an otter, and a dragon together. And when I was working on it, I had a variety of different sketches that I was doing. I had a few different ways I was trying to position them. I knew I would need room for those antlers up top. I don't know what I was doing here. I think I was trying to get the heads more in line with one another. It was a mess. Eventually, I got something that I liked a lot more. I cleaned this up, scanned it in, drew line art on my tablet, and yesterday I did the first test cut of it onto wood. I got this new hood for my laser cutter, so it like goes over the window and kind of connects there to cover it. That didn't work apparently, or just the fan wasn't working properly. So like less than a minute after I started this cut, the smoke alarm went off, and our smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors are connected throughout our house, which is good. You know, I want that normally, but that does mean that if I have the smoke alarm trigger here in my office, which right off camera, my smoke alarm is positioned like directly above the laser. Not the ideal spot, but you know, I can't really move either around very much and keep them in the same room. But that means all of them went off in the house. So I had to quickly, you know, take care of that and fixed the venting, and you know, thankfully I didn't have it go off again. So I'm gonna try to show off without dropping it. This is what I made, and I'm just going to take off the cut pieces that we don't really need and just show you. Yeah, so it's 3 pieces of wood that, you know, are all cut as one piece and have some of the design engraved on them, but each one is a separate character. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I certainly have a lot that I want to do to the characters, you know, to do to the designs to improve it. It was an interesting challenge trying to draw them, but also make them like a puzzle piece to go together. But I had a lot of fun with it. I already have plans for 2 other ones that I'm working on, and we'll see, you know, how far I go with this. The person who I got the idea from, they have dozens and dozens in their shop, probably over 100 different ones. I am not trying to take any of that away from them. I am trying to do my own thing that is similar, you know, and I hope the people who I'm making it for like them. I am going to try to make some that are actually focused on people's specific personas in the future, including coloring them. But that's that for now. What else? Oh, I did a drawing of my own persona. I don't do that very often. I'll put it up on the screen here for Agender Visibility Day for myself. I know that there's a lot of things that I find a bit cringe about this piece of artwork. You know, you always look at your own things and judge them more harshly, but I also want to recognize and feel proud that I was able to do it all in one day. As in, I knew for a week I wanted to do it, so of course I waited until the day before, actually the day of, to sketch, draw, outline, and color it. Hence no shading or anything. I don't know. Again, I like it. And I'm trying to be better at sharing my art. Actually, I saw a message on Mastodon this morning when somebody was talking about making sure that you, not making sure that you, but avoiding using, you know, AI to make like your profile pictures and stuff in your spaces. And somebody responded. They said that when they wanted art of their persona and they couldn't afford it, their thought didn't turn to, I should have something, you know, make it for me. Their thought was, I should learn to draw better, you know, that they deserve to have art of them made with love. And I think that's a really nice way to look at it. I don't just want something that looks, you know, like polished and fake, but something that looks like an actual person put their hands on it and made it. You know, for these things, it's a physical piece of art, taking them and spending the time to learn how to do it myself. That's near it. I think I really had just one like non-crafty thing that I want to talk about. Speaking of Mastodon, say I have nosy friends, and I won't name names for my friends or the people, but this week on 2 separate occasions, I was shown that I'm still living in some people's minds rent-free. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good way to say that it's weird knowing how people will still obsess and think about you, especially when it's mean and very incorrect things. Normally, that is not much of a problem for me. I used to get very upset about it. I've done a lot of work over the past few years to lower the amount that I get upset about that and remind myself that, you know, the person that they are thinking of in their head is not a real person. That doesn't exist. I am the real person with all of my flaws, all of my good and bad, all of the multitudes that we contain, and I am not just the cardboard cutout that someone else sees. So yeah, that's something that Honestly, I was thinking about it a lot last night after I was forwarded a link, which was kind of silly, and it's something that I've been trying to work on a lot. So I really want to just end this by saying, to remind yourself that whatever other people say, they're not talking about you. They're talking about this online presence that, in part, they've made up in their own head. And I also want to just implore, beg all of the queer people, I mean, all of the cis and straight people too, but specifically all of the queer people in my life, outside of my life, just everyone around, can we at least agree for Pride Month, for us, to stop focusing on tearing one another down? There's a lot of shit going on in the world. There's a lot of negative things. And I don't know, the thing that bugs me the most when it comes to things like when I have to moderate Mastodon, for instance, or when I'm having conversations with people who I probably agree with 99% of the time, but we have like one thing we don't agree with each other on. I really wish we wouldn't jump to, oh, well, I am this kind of marginalized queer. The real problem is this other kind of marginalized queer. To be a bit more specific, I just get so tired of trans people denying other trans people their lived realities and experiences, denying them their own identity, when what they want, what we all want, is to have our own identity be affirmed. I also just wish that we would stop saying that, we are the problems with one another. We have enough non-trans people in the world who don't believe we exist, who want to delegitimize us, who hate us, who want us gone, who want it to be like we never existed. Those are the people that I would be upset with. Whatever I'm going to do, try to educate them, try to ignore them, try to fight them, those are the people that I'm upset with. I don't want to be fighting with someone who decides that being non-binary is not trans enough. If I'm more mask presenting, it just means that I'm a cis man who is pretending something. Can we at least, for the month of June, decide that we're not going to fight with one another because there's enough other shit going on in the world that we can really be fighting? That's what I'm going to leave you with. I want that to be a positive ending. I'm saying that most of the people that I know that to be true, and I've seen a lot of amazing people come together and support one another. I try to do the same myself, and that is my ask of anyone who might be watching this, to do the same. Hopefully the audio of this turns out better than it did last time I recorded. Now I'm just rambling and thinking. I'm sure there's something else I forgot to cover, but if that's the case, I will cover it in my newsletter this week. You can go to david.garden if you would like to sign up. I'm also going to make my site look prettier eventually. In the meantime, I have some work to get to. So do you. Have a good day.